Okay, well, hello and welcome to another game of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. This is an 8th edition game. 2-on-2 Warriors of Chaos and Vampire Counts versus Wood Elves and Dwarves. You'll see on this side, this is our opponents. From their left flank, they have 6, I think, Warhounds, a Hell Cannon, a huge unit of knights with like the Warriors General and a BSB, 2 units of ghouls, 1 unit, no, 2 units of zombies, 1 unit of ghouls, 1 unit of Karen Wraiths, and then some warriors over in the far corner behind um, that building. Um, yeah, they had 3 vampires, a BSB for the warriors, and we thought it was going to be quite an interesting battle, and so it turned out to be. This is our side. We're playing attack at dawn, or dawn attack as it were. So we didn't really have so much choice, and you can see our ballistas are set up over on this side. And I don't think they did anything the whole game. So we have 2 bolt throwers, correlers, and then a unit of dryads right in front of them. Tucked in behind that, which is a Grail Chapel, are 6 treekin, a big unit of iron breakers with their BSB and general. On shield bearers, my Treeman Ancient, who's my general, a smaller unit of warriors, and then my BSB on an eagle, 12 glade guard, 10 thunderers, and another unit of 12 dryads. So this is our unit on the right flank. I have a branch wraith with the cluster of radiance to give us 1+1 spell die. Here are the treekin, the iron breakers, the tree men next to them. We started out like this and then moves them all flush so that if we did get charged, they'd all be in contact. Here's my BSB, unfinished painted standard there, and my Glade Guard. Here's a picture of the lamp. Very nice lamp it is. So here's an overview of the battlefield before we begin the game. A couple people watching, a couple people playing there, and a lot of terrain, some various things that didn't really even come into play throughout the whole of it. Other than the forest closer to our opponents killed a bunch of the warhounds, and then I killed a few others with my casting, bound spells with the tree man. So we went first, we had to place, and we did get lucky to kind of get the castle up a little bit in the middle. We take first turn, and so we get a little bit more shooting. We kind of start moving everything up. The idea is to try to get up in there and make them come to us, and then we can start moving back. You can see we've put our 3 big units here, the Treeman Ancient, which does have Annoyance of Nettlings, the Iron Breakers, and my Treekin there. The BSB's right behind to give them rerolls. The Warriors are there. Those are blazing barricades, and we put the Archers and the Thunderers right behind them, and we move the Dryads up to protect that left flank. Yeah, I mean, we think it's a pretty good strategy. Our idea is to move up and then start creeping back, try to bait them into a charge, and then we countercharge or charge into their flanks, try to hold up with that unit of iron breakers. We've buffed them a little bit, and the BSB gives us +2 to the spell, so we get a total of +4 to the spell. I did not take any wizards to make sure that happens. Their first turn, the warhounds move up into the forest. It turns out to be a dangerous thing, a wild wood or something. They don't roll so well, and a few die. Everything else moves up. You can see his tank, massive, gigantic unit of Knights of Chaos in the middle there. So we're kind of dreading that one, and then his 3 units of undead, one of which is a gigantic unit of crypt ghouls on the far side there. So we're just trying to counter with our +4 to roll. We end up being able to counter a lot of their spells. It's also our opponent's first time playing 8th, so they're working out a couple of the kinks with magic and building a good list to support that and stuff. And I think vampire counts are probably pretty hard. So here's a look into the flank with my dryads. Debating charging in there. His Warriors of Chaos on his right flank move up and garrison themselves in this building. They end up moving on through and coming out the other side, but that's how they start off the game. And here you can see how we've got our 3 big units kind of moved up, ready to take a charge. Kind of scared it's going to be the vampire counts because he's got his vampire lord buffed with that frost blade or whatever that they do 1 wound. It's a total kill. Anyhow, I'm able to charge into the flank of his Cairn Wraiths with my Dryads, and man, if there's nothing that Dryads love better, it's having Cairn Wraiths for breakfast, because they have higher initiative, and with the low toughness of the Cairn Wraiths, they just make mincemeat of them, and so it's pretty great. You can see I'm in ranks of 4. I win combat, actually killed all but 1 of them with combat resolution and everything. And I reformed, but it didn't actually reform, so I don't actually have 2 ranks of 5, don't get a rank bonus here. You can see the rest of his units are moving forward. His big unit of Crypt Ghouls in the back is turning to face me. He's pulled his Vampire Lord out just for balance. He does come out later, I'll talk about that, but his big unit is there to defend against my Dryads. He's also pulled his Warriors General out to block me charging into the rear with my Dryads into his Knights. And so that's there. Here's kind of, still you can see what's going on in the middle of our line. Not a whole lot's changed. We've been slowly pulling back. We've been able to cancel a bunch of, I don't know if invocation of Nehek or whatever, but it would get him to move forward. I can't quite remember what that's called. But so I win combat against the Cairn Wraiths. I've lost a few to the Banshee Howl. I've got 8 left, and I set up to charge into the flank here. I do something like 5 wounds, and he saved all of them. So I end up breaking from combat and fleeing of the ignominy. It was horrible, but I only fled 5. He restrained pursuit, and I ended up right in between them, and I kind of just ran back and forth the whole time. I come here and I charge into his general, and he's got +3 attacks, and because it's magical I don't get a ward save, but somehow I stick through 3 combat phases. Here you can see a whole overview, and I'll take a minute to kind of talk about what's going on. Things kind of speed up towards the end of the game, so I'll try to cover a bit here. What they end up doing is moving their center units up forward, and we're able to block a lot of the charges. They charge the Vampire Lord, which is that shiny bit you can see in the middle, out at our unit of warriors, which is out in front, and we flee, leaving his Vampire Lord out in the middle, and we're able to kill him in our shooting phase, which causes them to start to crumble and makes for some hassle, which is okay, but frustrating for them. It's a good move though. Once that happens, you can see this is where the warriors were. He then raises dead and puts a few guys in front of us, which is a bit of a hassle. Here you can see this is the 2nd round of combat. I'm able to stick around. This is the 2nd round. I've only lost a couple. In the 3rd round I lose a couple more and finally flee, which is okay. Then after that, yeah, you can see they finally fled. He restrains pursuit there too, and they run away. He's thinking by now he's going to be able to move up his Hell Cannon and charge, but they end up surviving the whole time. Here you can see all the units have moved forward. This is right before he charges with his big unit of Knights into the Ironbreakers. We've staggered the Ironbreakers from the Treekin and the Tree Man a little bit, so when he charges he hits them. You can see the whole board set up here. Everything's kind of moved forward. He's getting ready to charge us with the Warriors of Chaos into the Thunderers over there. He ends up charging out one of his vampires, which you can sort of see on the close unit of zombies on the edge. He's on a cavalry base. He charges them out into my Glade Guard. They end up sticking around a little bit and end up winning that combat, which is pretty nice. Here's just a cool picture of the warrior general, which is actually a Bretonnian, but just looks cool. So anyways, here you can see his vampire, which is missing from the mount, charge into my Glade Guard. They stick around for a little bit, and his warriors and a couple of zombies charged into our Coilers. He beats us pretty soundly there. We flee, get run down. He overruns. Not a surprise. Not a big deal. He's able to double charge. He's under this barrier, attacking us here. Our warriors are there at the bottom, and they've rallied and they charge again. So here you can see our big battle in the middle. This is our Ironbreaker unit, staggered out front. They've got the Rune of Determination and a bunch of stuff, so they have a lot of static combat res. With their big armor save, they survive the first round of combat. Here you can see the warriors have charged in. Now this combat's going in our favor. We're able to mop everything up. We've killed the vampire and taken out all but these guys, and with combat res we killed them too. We won by 7 or 9 or something. It was pretty sound. So our Ironbreakers win combat. They stick around, charge both flanks, and that pretty much seals the doom for these guys. With Stomp, Thunder Stomp, flanks, all the attacks from the Treekin, the attacks from the Dwarf Lord in the middle, we just lay on a beating. We only do maybe 2 wounds, which aren't represented here, but we win by a bunch. He fails his roll even with a rerollable because of the standard bearer, and flees. He's measuring it there. Here's a sweet picture of the useless ballista. And just to finish it off, I just like this photo. But after we defeated that big unit of knights, they called it. It was the end of the 5th round, and it just seemed like it was pretty close. So anyways, except for the points, it was a really, really close game, and thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.